What's up, guys? EnderUnknown here. I'm back today here with another ComputerCraft tutorial. I noted that it was one of the highest viewed videos on my channel. I think third slot. So yeah, I'm back with another tutorial. So over here we got a simple little setup here with just a computer, disk drive, a piece of redstone, and a door, and of course our floppy disk. We throw the floppy disk in, and oh goodness, we're okay. We're gonna try that again here. Just quick adjustments so that hopefully won't happen again. Oh, undying zombie was ground to bits. Delicious. Okay, so yeah, the door opens, we can walk through, and then, yeah, we're into our secret base or whatever that we hid very poorly because it's on the top of a extremely random mountain. Anyways, so yeah, there's another secret base. So yeah, let's get started on how to build this thing. So we're gonna start off with any old door. This works with anything redstone, I guess technically. But in a door situation, you probably set it up something like this with the glass is a line of blocks. So probably wouldn't be glass, but that's just to represent. If you wanted to look this or make this look differently, I guess you could put a computer behind a wall like that. You could stick the computer or the drive there and the computer down one, just so that the redstone gets hooked up, and then you just have to change a couple things in the program. But I'm gonna be setting it like, or I will be setting it, yeah, I'll be setting it up like over there, with the exception of the glass, which we probably won't add. So yeah, this is pretty cheap, especially because you don't need the advanced computers. I just prefer them, especially when I can use them. So yeah, we're gonna go into here. We're gonna edit the startup program, and so we have to define some variables first. So p, or our password, is gonna equal whatever we want our password to be. So in my case, subscribe. We're also gonna want a, I think I discussed this with you guys last ComputerCraft video, is kind of a backdoor in. And this one would be really unfortunate if we couldn't edit it, and I don't want to go into the world files to fix it. So we're gonna add ourselves a little bit of a backdoor. So we're just gonna have a debug character, and that is just gonna equal whatever we want to set it at. So I'm gonna set it at D for debug. Sure. This is kind of unnecessary, but it's just a good habit to get into. Term.clear. So, I mean, that's just going to clear the screen, but that's generally speaking unnecessary. Just good habit to get into. So, we're going to write a quick little function here. So, a function called, loop. Loop. I do not spell too well. So, yeah. We're just going to go into this function here, and I guess if we really wanted to, we could put end at the back so that we don't forget to do that later, as I did when I was building the design on the other side. So basically, we're going to run this loop continuously, and it's going to check for a couple things, but first we have to make a loop inside of, we're going to run this function continuously. We have to make the loop inside of it. So this is going to be an infinite loop, while true, do, and we need another end for that. We're going to tab in. So a couple more variables that we have to define. We have to define a event. We have to define a event variable and a So we have to define a event variable, and we also, since we're going to use a manual or a automatic way to find the drive position, we also have to specify a variable called drive side. Or I guess you could just do side or drive or whatever. And those are going to equal os.pull event raw. And so what we're going to have to do with these is we're going to have to check if the event is equal to disk. So we're going to do event, if event is equal to, and then we have to type out disk in the quotations here, and drive side. So I'm pretty sure that just means that there has to be some sort of thing, some sort of event. So if drive side equals null, then this won't run. I guess was how I interpret that. I made it a while ago, back when I was more knowledgeable with Lua and how that worked. It's the programming language that ComputerCraft uses. So anyways, we have to add a then on the back. Gonna add another not and. So if this is true, then we have to run this next bit of code here. So we need to get a path. So the path is going to equal disk dot get mount path, and we have to input a drive side into there, and then that is going to return a path value. So if said path value, so if there's one there, so if it doesn't equal, I guess it's not null, it's nil in Lua, and another end. So then path is going to equal path, and then this is just to add a little section of the path. So we got our path, that's going to be just disk, and we need a little bit of a excess thing, so where we're looking in the disk drive. So we got the disk directory, and then we're looking for a file inside that. So we're going to name that file password. And so it's going to look into password and see if we got the certain little string of text in there. So we're going to go on and continue to type out. So basically we need to make sure this exists. So file equals file stream or fs dot exists with that path, and then we also have to check, or we also have to open that path, and we have to set that path's opening type to read, or else this equals null or nil. And there we go. So yeah, that's the first little part here. So that's just a little. So if path, regardless of path, anyways, we're continuing on to the next part of code here. So the disk is going to eject either way. I mean, that'd be kind of funny if it didn't, or I'm sure you could rig some sort of contraption to put the disk in a different spot. But we're just going to have the disk eject on the drive side. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. So then we have to check the file. So the file that we have the path for, so if it exists and then we open it, we have to read it here. So if there's a file and file read, did I? No. And file read, hit a brain fart there, is equal to our password, or the p value, then another end. So if it is equal, then here's what we're going to do. This is going to be relating to this setup here. We're going to set the redstone output on the left equal to true. Then we're going to have it wait for, or sleep for 3 seconds, then it's going to set to false. So if we do redstone dot set output on the left side, and this is where you'd change it to what fits you. Left side equals true. Then we want to do os.sleep for, I don't know, 3 seconds, I think is a good one. rs.set output left false. So basically that's also pretty explanatory, but it'll set the output to true, activating. It will activate this, but it needs a block update, so the redstone on top is just the easiest solution I found. It'll activate it, 3 seconds later it'll turn it off, and then the door should work. In that sense, we still have a little more coding to do to get it all situated. But anyways, after that, we have to just make sure that if there is a file, so if file equals true, then we're just going to close it. So nothing too complicated there. Then file is going to equal nil. And then we're just going to end that. So, we have to have a little thing in here for, I don't know, you know how it would be when you try to terminate it. So, else if debug char and event is equal to char. So basically this is going to ask that event variable what the event is. So when we're in the computer and we type something, that's considered an event. So it's going to search for that event, and if it's a character or char, then it's going to respond. So that's different than if we interact with it using something else. And then also, and drive side is equal to debug char, because drive side is also an event. Then we are going to return a break. So this little break is going to be kind of like it'll cut up the code in the fact that it'll allow us to, so it'll stop the program and allow us to run this. We'll use the computer normally. So that's using that back door that I was talking about earlier. So yep, and then just some ends. Down here we have to go down a little bit, and then we're going to type in repeat. Inside of this repeat function, we need a couple variables. So a variable called OK, error, and vol is going to equal to, I'm assuming this is, I don't know, something about, I don't really know how this method works. I just found it, and it works. So basically, it's going to run our loop function. If not OK, so if there's no OK, and error, 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 then we have to do a little bit here. So another end in a little bit, and so basically we have to check what the error is. So if error is equal to a string, which is going to be terminated, then we're going to want to print, and I guess you could change this string here to whatever you want, print access spelling access Dean. Oh. We're just gonna print no because I'm struggling to spell stuff today. So I did not put a end on that. So yeah, and then so if it equals that, that's what it'll do. If it doesn't, then we also have to have it or we have to have it print what the error is. So basically, the error could be a error with the code, and we want it to print that. But if it's a terminate, like we're trying to terminate, then we don't want it to. We don't want to have anything to do with termination. So yeah, end n, and then this is actually not a end. I just got this. This is equal to OK and error equals break. So that is that break from up here. So if it's breaking, then this is going to this will not, so this is going to repeat until that happens. Once it stops, then we can go edit the computer and a bunch of other stuff. So we should be able to save this. Exit, Control R to reboot. I don't know. Edit. Oh, what? Run. 25. What did I forget? 25. I think I might have. What was that error again? Didn't like a... Then return... break, end. Oh, I probably have one too many ends on here. Save, exit, reboot. Yeah, that's probably better. Time, set, day. There we go. So, now we have to set the floppy disk. So, I'm going to grab a floppy disk here. Good old cyan one. Just going to have a disk drive, and this can be done on any old computer. I maybe should have just done it first. We're just going to edit. Well, first put your disk in there. Edit, disk, password, and subscribe. So this is what you distribute this disk or this passcode that anyone that you had wanted to have access, or just yourself. We should be able to grab our disk here, and if we put it in the drive, I don't know, invalid side. What did I do? Well, I guess here we can, if I press D, edit startup. Invalid side, where do we got that? So, ejected fine, drive side, I guarantee you I spelled something wrong. Okay, well, it's not an EnderUnknown video without a couple errors. So, basically, I should probably show you, I just changed these two. It didn't like that they were capitalized. Why? Yeah, so don't capitalize those. Gonna reboot this. Boom. Our door opens. Couple seconds, it shuts off. There we go. So, just make it look nice. We can get rid of these computers. You can have your fancy little corridor in the side of a mountain here. Or whatever. You go up, you just stick the floppy disk in there, and you can go through. So, and then also, I think this one has the same message, but if we just stick a, just a normal, get floppy disk here. Just a normal floppy disk, no editing on this one. Boom. Access is going to be denied. So, there you have it, guys. Thank you guys for watching, and I will be back with maybe some more ComputerCraft. If you guys are liking ComputerCraft, just let me know. Then I'll try to do more of that. So, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and Ender out.